So let's start with, you recently told FBI Director Christopher Wray to man up and do his job. This was after the FBI had refused to provide a document that the Oversight Committee subpoenaed it for, saying that they didn't want to release unverified or incomplete information. It was going to compromise the way that they do their investigations.
Which is total I mean, let's be honest. Yeah.
Do you believe that they're purposefully at the FBI avoiding a larger investigation into the Biden family?
100%. I do believe that the FBI is trying to stonewall the Oversight Committee in our investigation, and if they won't do their job, then we'll do their job for them. And we will get documents that we need. We will show and share them with the American public. We'll look at more suspicious activity reports. We'll get more bank records, even if they want to keep them hidden from the American people, because they ought to know that Joe Biden's seat was for sale, that China bought it, Russia bought it, Romania bought it. Dozens of countries around the world got access to the president because of his family, and they were paid off millions and millions of dollars. And if the American people could see what we've seen, they would question why this administration isn't investigating the Biden family. And if it's legal, it sure as hell shouldn't be legal in my opinion, but if it were, it's certainly not something that should be. And it's disgusting and it's un-American.
Now, the House Oversight Committee, which you're on, led by James Comer, had a press conference last week. And you revealed that there was a web of companies and LLCs that are connected to the Biden family and their business associates, a lot of them after he became vice president. The New York
and some during his vice presidency. So,
the New York Times then said, House Republicans report find no evidence of wrongdoing by President Biden. What is your response to the New York Times?
Well, the media wants to ignore the evidence. We were literally showing bank records and shell companies and tens of millions of dollars being shuffled around. We know that Hunter Biden paid Joe Biden's bills. We know that there was 10% siphoned off for the, quote, big guy, according to emails and text messages from the laptop, which we were told we were conspiracy theorists. Turns out we were right in that. And when you look at the White House records and the revolving door that Hunter Biden's clients were with, then Vice President Biden and President Biden. You look at the flight logs and you see the flights that Hunter Biden was on to some of these countries. If you look at Burisma in Ukraine and the corruption that we've seen in places like Romania and how they're tied to the Biden family, you had up to nine Biden family members, a brother, a son, a grandchild, nieces and nephews, current wives, ex-wives. None of them were foreign agents. What was the seed money for? They said it was for seed money, but what was that for? There was no business plan. And clearly they were just paying for access that they couldn't otherwise get. Joe Biden literally sold his country.
Now, the White House counsel ahead of the press conference preemptively said this is a political investigation. Is there any truth to that? Is this at all a political investigation?
Well, no one can say that I'm in the tank for Donald Trump or anybody else. Like, that's not what this is about. I call the balls and strikes. I talk out against Republicans as much as I talk out against Democrats when I see BS happening up here in Washington. And when I saw what really set me off was seeing the suspicious activity reports and what that meant. The wire fraud, the money laundering, racketeering, and RICO comes to mind when you look at some of these documents. I literally saw pages this thick, page after page after page, about an alleged prostitution ring with Russian hookers. This is not millions of dollars spent on that. I'm not making any of this up. And then when you look at, again, the access to the White House, the access to the flights that the vice president took at the time and president, the LLCs that were created when he was vice president, how they cashed in after he was vice president, all of those things shouldn't be supported by the American people, and they don't support it. And over 60% of American people, regardless of their political affiliation, want this investigated. And I think that if we just follow the facts, then that should be fair and honest and transparent. If it means that we refer charges to DOJ, then so be it. If it also means that no law was broken and we don't refer charges, then at the end of the day, that information will also be shared. But this isn't something you can ignore. You just can't.